Hey everybody, it's time for the story of the Jumping Mouse part 2. So today we are going to review the characters and setting and plot. Remember, the plot is what happens in the story. We're going to describe the main character and we will identify the lesson of the fable. Today we are going to learn a new word, and that word is misused. Can you all say the word misused? Do you have any idea what the word misused means? We'll go over that in just a minute. We're going to make an opinion about our story. So we're going to tell what we think about it. So we read the story of the Jumping Mouse yesterday, and let's review just a little bit about the story. So once upon a time, there was a jumping mouse. Let's see if we can remember a little bit about that story. Now here's where we are going to begin today. There was a jumping mouse, and if we remember back to the beginning of the story, the jumping mouse wanted to do something. Do you remember what the jumping mouse wanted to do? He wanted to visit a faraway land, but he met a magic frog. Let's see if we can remember what the magic frog told him. The magic frog told him, well, if you want to go across the river, you just need to know how to swim. But the mouse said, I don't know how to swim. He watched the frog, and the frog could swim, but he did not know how. So the frog gave the mouse a gift. Do you remember what gift he gave? It was the gift of jumping. So they were able to jump right across that sparkling river. And the mouse told the frog, thank you so much for your kindness, and continued on his way. And now in this picture, remember, he's going through the desert, the dry desert, jumping all around. And then he runs across the next character, the fat mouse. And he stays with the fat mouse for a few days. And do you know remember what they were doing? They were eating berries and having a good time sitting down by the stream. But the fat mouse was content to stay. And he even told the little mouse, the jumping mouse, why don't you just stay? It's nice here and you can eat all the berries you want. But the jumping mouse could not be swayed on his opinion. He wanted to go to a faraway land. So here we are today. And our main character was the jumping mouse. So Ms. Vick told you a word that we're going to have today is the word misused. The word misuse means to be used incorrectly. For example, Lila misused her pencil by digging a hole in the ground with it. That means she did not use it in the right way. She used it for a purpose, but it wasn't the right purpose. The next word is fragrances. Can we all say fragrances? Fragrances are sweet or pleasant smells. My mother's garden is full of flowers and different fragrances. Enormous. We had that enormous elephant. Enormous means very, very big. And the next word is compassion. Compassion is a word that means that you want to help other people when they're having a hard time. Mateo felt compassion for his friend who fell off her bike. So we have already listened to the story of the Jumping Mouse, and this is a Native American folktale. And a folktale is a type of fiction, fake. And our story is now taking place just outside of the desert. And what do we see in the background here? I see some mountains, and I see the mouse in some grass, some tall grass. Okay, so let's continue with our story. As I'm reading the story, I want you to listen carefully and I want you to see how the jumping mouse helps others and what lesson you can learn from the folk tale. Sometime later, Jumping Mouse arrived at the grassy plain. There he found a bison, forlornly or sadly laying in the grass. Hello, Bison, said the Jumping Mouse. I am Jumping Mouse. Hello, Jumping Mouse. Please tell me how beautiful the sky looks today, said the Bison sadly. Have you lost your sight? Asked Jumping Mouse with compassion. Compassion is when you want to help others when they're having a hard time. Yes, I am blind now, replied the Bison. I do not know what I will do when I cannot see. I remember a story we read about a young lady who was blind. Do you remember her name? Her name was Helen Keller. And a famous musician who was blind, who played the piano, Ray Charles. So the bison is blind, just like those famous people we talked about. Yes, I am blind now, replied the bison. I do not know what I will do now when I cannot see. I'm just an ordinary mouse, replied Jumping Mouse, but before I reached the grassy plain, the magic frog gave me a new name. The frog named me Jumping Mouse. This name gave me extra strength in my legs. And I will name you Eyes of a Mouse in hope that your eyes will regain their strength. Jumping Mouse hopes that the bison will be able to see again. No sooner than the Jumping Mouse finished squeaking, the bison exclaimed, I can see! So in this picture, he can't see. He has his eyes closed. Oh my goodness, I can see! And at that very moment, Jumping Mouse realized that he could no longer see. I cannot see, said Jumping Mouse. Why can't Jumping Mouse see? Because he gave his sight to the bison. Dear Jumping Mouse, said the bison, you have given me your eyes. I am so thankful. Let me do something for you. I am on my way to a far-off land, exclaimed Jumping Mouse, though how I will get there now, I do not know. Come jump beneath my enormous hoofs. Enormous means big, and I will guide you across the grassy plain to the high mountain, said the bison gently. And with that, they set off. Now, the bison's going to help the mouse. The mouse can't see. Poor mouse. Looks like they're being really good friends. When they reached the high mountain, the bison bid farewell to Jumping Mouse. Jumping Mouse rested for a while and then began to climb the mountain. It was difficult as Jumping Mouse could not easily tell which way to go. He sniffed the air and followed the scent of pine. How might Jumping Mouse feel at this point? I think he might feel a little frustrated or confused. He don't really know what to do. Jumping Mouse trod along the grass and rocks, but then he trod along something that felt alarmingly like fur. Jumping Mouse sniffed the air again. Woof, he said in a frightened voice. Ooh, woofs are bad news. Do not fear me, replied the wolf, for I am a very sad wolf. I have lost my sense of smell, and I do not know how I will find food without it. Oh, he is sad. My dear wolf, said Jumping Mouse, it may seem strange, but I gave the bison my sight. I will call you Nose of a Mouse, and we shall see what happens. No sooner had Jumping Mouse spoken these words than the wolf sniffed the air and cried, I can smell again, Jumping Mouse! And all kinds of wonderful fragrances they could smell and filled the air. Thank you, I am so grateful. How can I repay you? I am on my way to the far-off land. I am brave, and I still have hope that I will get there, even though I can no longer see nor smell. Perhaps you can help me. I will help you, Jumping Mouse. Walk beneath my body, and I will lead you onward. Wow, the mouse could no longer see nor smell. Onward they went until at last the wolf exclaimed, I can go no further. We are on the top of a high mountain. I must bid you goodbye, my friend. And with that, the wolf retreated back down the mountainside. For the first time, Jumping Mouse felt fear. How would he ever go to the far-off land now that he could no longer see nor smell? A tiny teardrop fell to the ground, and at that moment, Jumping Mouse heard a very familiar voice. Who do you think it is? I have an idea. Oh, do not be fearful, said the magic frog, for it was he. You could have misused my gift, but you did not. The word misuse means to have used incorrectly. Jumping Mouse could have used all the magic for himself, but instead he shared it with others. Instead, you showed kindness and helped others on your journey. Jump high to the sky, my friend. Jumping Mouse hesitated just for a second, and then he jumped high into the sky. Immediately, he felt the air lift him up to the clouds. He felt the warmth of the sun on his back. He looked down and saw the beauty of the land beneath him. Jumping Mouse was way up high. Jumping Mouse, said the magic frog, I am giving you a new name. It is now Eagle. Fly away, my friend, and soar to your new home in the far-off land. That's exactly what Jumping Mouse did. Now Jumping Mouse is an eagle. Wow. What are the new characters that appear in the second half of our story? The bison and the wolf. What gift does Jumping Mouse give to the bison? Remember the bison? Let's look back at him. The bison could not see. So what gift did the mouse give? The gift of sight. That's right. What gift does Jumping Mouse give the wolf? Oh, there's that sad wolf. Do you remember why he was sad? Because he could not smell. So Jumping Mouse gave him the gift of smell. Jumping Mouse named the wolf Nose of a Mouse. Do you remember what he named the bison? Eyes of a mouse. What do these gifts tell you about Jumping Mouse? Is he kind or is he mean? Jumping Mouse is very kind to give away his senses of sight and smell as gifts. Does Jumping Mouse care about others? Yes, he sure does. He gave up his sight and smell to help others. He was compassionate and generous. How does the magic frog help Jumping Mouse at the end of the story? The magic frog turns Jumping Mouse into an eagle, so he can fly to the far-off land. How does this help Jumping Mouse? What can he do now? He can fly to the far-off land. Well, what lesson do you think that you learned from this story? Well, I think an important lesson would be that it's nice to do good deeds, such as helping others. And sometimes when you do nice things and help others, you could get a special reward without even knowing it, unexpected. And the mouse certainly didn't expect that he would be turned into an eagle. So he did not expect that awesome reward. In the read aloud you heard, you misused my gift. You could have misused my gift, but you did not. Say the word misused with me. If you misuse something, you use it the wrong way. Larry misused his desk by writing on it. That was not nice. Misused has the prefix mis in front of the word use. What does it mean to use something? To use something means that you take a tool and you do something with it to do a task. The word in means not correct. So in this word, we could say that the word miss means incorrect. So we have here the word misuse. To misuse something means to misuse or use it in an incorrect way or wrongly. Here are some other words that start with miss. Misunderstand and misspell. The word misunderstand means that you don't understand something correctly. When the teacher spoke, I did not understand. I misunderstood her directions. Misspell means that you spell a word incorrectly. So I did not know how to spell the word. I misspelled it on my test. In the story, the jumping mouse jumped. That means that he did that activity in the past. He jumped into the sky. Can you think of something you would have done in the past? It needs to be something that ends with ed. So I jumped, I played, I laughed, I smiled. All these things I have done in the past. When we put the letters ed on the end of the word, that means they were done in the past. So I jumped, I smiled, I laughed, and I played. Boys and girls, you have done a very good job listening to the story of Jumping Mouse Part 2. So now what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to think for just a minute about your favorite character from the story. So think for just a moment and then tell your grown-up what your favorite character is. I would like you to use the sentence, my favorite character is, and then finish the sentence with because. When we say my favorite, that means the best one. And when we say the word because, we are telling why. So grown up, please have your student draw a picture of their very favorite character from the story and have them tell you why that character is their favorite character. Write the answer on the bottom of the paper. My favorite character is because. So for example, you could say, my favorite character is Jumping Mouse because he was so kind and generous. All right, friends, that's all we have for today, and I will see you later. Have a great day.